Have you heard about the recent catastrophe in northern Gaza? A devastating blast occurred at the Jabalia refugee camp. In the heart of northern Gaza, the Jabalia refugee camp, home to thousands of displaced citizens, was the scene of a horrifying incident. It was a day that started like any other, but quickly descended into chaos and devastation. A blast so powerful, it shook the very core of the camp, claiming the lives of at least 50 individuals and leaving countless others injured. The source of this grim tally? The Gaza Health Ministry. Their reports paint a distressing picture of the aftermath. Men, women, and children, all victims of a tragedy that has left the Jabalia refugee camp reeling. But the question on everyone's mind is, who is responsible? The Health Ministry points to Israeli fire as the cause of this catastrophe. However, as is often the case in situations of conflict, the truth is mired in a fog of war and uncertainty. While allegations of Israeli involvement circulate, we're still waiting for a response from the Israeli military. As we tread on this delicate path of verification and validation, it's crucial to remember that any claims made are yet to be confirmed. In the meantime, the scene at the Jabalia refugee camp is one of despair and devastation. Amid the rubble and the ruins, survivors cling to hope, even as they mourn their losses. The echoes of the blast still resonate, a harsh reminder of the grim reality faced by those in the refugee camp. As we await confirmation from the Israeli military, the ground reality paints a grim picture of destruction and despair. While the dust settles in Jabalia, the Israeli Defense Forces continue their operations throughout Gaza. The Israeli Defense Forces, or IDF, are known for their meticulous approach to military operations. As we speak, they are carrying out ground operations across the length and breadth of Gaza. These operations are far from routine. The IDF soldiers are encountering fierce resistance in the form of anti-tank missiles and machine gun fire. In the face of such intense opposition, they remain undeterred, their resolve unbroken. The IDF's mission is clear-cut. They are targeting the nerve centers of Hamas, specifically the commanders and the infrastructure that supports their operations. These targets are not chosen at random. They are part of a strategic approach designed to dismantle Hamas's ability to wage war. It's a high-stakes game of cat and mouse, with the IDF hunting their adversaries while navigating a volatile battlefield. This isn't just about bringing the commanders to justice. It's about striking at the heart of Hamas, the infrastructure. By infrastructure, we mean everything from command centers to supply lines, from weapon caches to communication networks. These are the lifeblood of any militant organization. By attacking these, the IDF aims to cripple Hamas's ability to function effectively. However, every military operation comes with a cost. As the IDF advances, the toll of this conflict continues to rise. The human cost of this conflict is a sobering reminder of the stark realities of war. The loss of life, the destruction of property, and the displacement of people are all part of the tragic tableau that unfolds in the wake of such operations. In the end, the big question remains: will these military operations bring about a lasting peace, or will they simply set the stage for the next round of violence? Only time will tell. As the IDF advances, the toll of this conflict continues to rise. In the face of this onslaught, the resistance by Hamas remains resolute. The group remains undeterred, releasing footage of a firefight with Israeli soldiers amidst the rubble and chaos of northern Gaza. The video, though harrowing in its depiction of the conflict, underscores the fierce determination of Hamas to resist the Israeli incursion. The Palestinian Red Crescent and the Gaza Health Ministry bear witness to the human cost of this struggle. Over the past 3 weeks, they report that more than 8,500 people have lost their lives. Each life lost is a testament to the intensity of the conflict, and each life lost is a call for peace and resolution. The Israeli military operations have not gone unanswered. Hamas claims to have launched attacks that resulted in the loss of over 1,400 Israeli lives on the 7th of October. This grim number underscores the violent and cyclical nature of this conflict, where attacks and retaliations only fuel more hostility and loss. Yet, amidst the devastation, the spirit of Hamas's resistance persists. Their fighters, surrounded by tanks and under heavy fire, continue to engage in firefights with Israeli soldiers. These images from northern Gaza, though stark and distressing, also convey a message of defiance and resilience. They show a group resolved to resist, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Beyond the battle lines and the physical conflict, there's also a war of narratives being fought. These images and videos serve not just as records of the conflict, but also as tools in shaping public opinion and rallying support. The power of these images lies not just in their capacity to shock, but also in their ability to invoke empathy, outrage, and calls for justice. Despite the heavy bombardment, the spirit of resistance is evident in these images from northern Gaza. They bear testament to the resilience of a group and a people determined to resist in the face of adversity. Yet, they also underscore the urgent need for a peaceful resolution to this devastating conflict. Amidst the crossfire, the civilian population in Gaza bears the brunt of the conflict. As we navigate through the turbulence of war, the situation in the Al-Quds hospital area in Gaza City stands as a stark reminder of the human cost. This area has been under heavy bombardment, with the health ministry reporting a staggering death toll in the past 3 weeks. Over 8,500 people have lost. The grim reality of war is not confined to one side. It's a universal language of loss and devastation. On the other side of the conflict, Israel reports over 1,400 Israelis fell victim to Hamas attacks just on October the 7th. Each death, each injury, each loss ripples through the fabric of these communities, leaving behind a trail of grief and despair. This is the face of war, the cost that is too often brushed aside in the grand narrative of conflict and power struggles. In the midst of this, the Al-Quds hospital continues to operate, providing what little relief it can in these dire circumstances. The healthcare workers, the unsung heroes, persist in their efforts, tending to the wounded and the dying in conditions that are far from ideal. Yet, despite the grim circumstances, the spirit of resilience is palpable. People helping each other, communities coming together in the face of adversity. Stories of courage and compassion rise from the ashes, a testament to the indomitable human spirit. As the battle rages on, the civilian casualties continue to mount, painting a grim picture of the conflict. But amidst the despair and devastation, the resilience of the human spirit continues to shine, reminding us that even in the darkest of times, there is always a glimmer of hope. Let's return to where it all started, the Jabalia refugee camp. Nestled in the northern reaches of Gaza, between Gaza City and the border fence with Israel, Jabalia is the largest refugee camp in the region, home to approximately 115 to 120,000 people. This is not a temporary tent city. Instead, it's a dense urban area, with buildings and tightly packed streets that have been standing for decades. The aftermath of the blast has left an enormous crater, a stark contrast to the surrounding landscape. This vast cavity, littered with rubble, is a silent testament to the immense force of the explosion. It's surrounded by buildings that have been severely damaged. Some in the course of this incident, others bearing the scars of the past 3 weeks of conflict. The search for survivors is a desperate race against time. Hundreds, perhaps thousands of people remain in the area despite repeated warnings from the Israeli forces to evacuate. With such a dense population, it's almost inevitable that the death toll will rise as the search continues. Every stone turned could reveal another casualty, another life irrevocably changed by this conflict. The people of Jabalia, many of whom have chosen to stay in their homes despite the danger, now find themselves navigating a landscape of destruction. The familiar has become foreign, their homes reduced to rubble, their streets unrecognizable. Yet amidst the chaos, there is a sense of resilience, a determination to endure, to survive, and to rebuild. As the search for survivors continues, the people of Jabalia find themselves amidst the rubble of their homes, caught in a conflict they didn't choose.